Hello, educators, and thank you for participating today. My name is Anne. I am mom of our founder, Hannah. I am here today joined with Hannah and Jen, our fellow I've Got Your Back adult board member. Say hi, ladies.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today.
I've Got Your Back and other efforts like this are so important to help bridge the gap between those who feel connected and those who do not. We help raise awareness of how important acceptance, connection, and inclusion are, and we hope today, when you have heard from us, you will also feel the importance, as we do, to teach students that they might not always succeed on their first try, and part of the learning process is failure turned inside out. Accepting our mistakes is a strength and helps to build confidence and character. Teaching resilience and being prepared for the unexpected is one of the greatest gifts that parents and educators can teach to all children, and each other for that matter. And today, we're here to share why I've Got Your Back program integrates well with all SEL programs. I've Got Your Back was created by a student for students, and SEL programs are by educators for educators. The two dovetail very well together when everyone is working all at once to improve their dynamics and learning environments. There just is less frustration for the teachers and also for students because they have the same goals. Students want to please their teachers, and this program is a great way for all kids to shine. It doesn't exclude anyone, and those who want to do more can. Follow along with us and meet our founder, Hannah, who knew before many that we needed to address bullying and build kindness in our New Hampshire schools. She spent an entire summer putting I've Got Your Back together, from planning a mission to creating a logo and using her initial donations to fund community events for awareness on anxiety and cyberbullying at just the age of 13. Today, hundreds of ambassadors share I've Got Your Back, and you can too.
I started I've Got Your Back, also known as IGYB, in 2017. I wanted to prevent others from feeling like I did when I was in middle school. I told my mom if I could change one person's life, it was all worth it, and it's so much more than that now. Early on, I received many letters like you see here from our flagship school, Memorial Elementary in Bedford. Many messages like this have kept me inspired along the way to keep working hard on this mission, because I too can get discouraged and need support. The many supporters and students messaging me with their stories are what has fueled me and kept me going. Today, we will also hear from 3 very special adult ambassadors and supporters of I've Got Your Back. This is a project that I have been working on this past year, before COVID actually, to raise awareness on bullying and the impact it can have on many of us. We will share clips of these videos shortly. You will hear about their losses and struggles from bullying and also learn why bullies need help too. Their stories are compelling, and I hope as educators we will leave you feeling like you are some of the most important people in our lives as we grow and learn in school. Often it is the influence or support a teacher gives us when we are struggling that changes our life in a positive way forever. Thank you all for being educators. Next, I'd love for you to meet the IGYB Student Board. This is an introduction video that is on our website and one that you can share with others. I am Hannah. I founded I've Got Your Back in the summer of 2017. IGYB is now in over half the United States and 6 countries. Our mission is to include, be kind, and respect one another, and be a voice for those who need one, and those who needed one and who are no longer here.
I Got Your Back has helped me grow during the school year and the summer, because I'm aware of what I do has impact on the people around me, and I'm able to help others, and it just makes me happy every day to know that I can help others and be there for them.
IGYB helps to bridge the gap between the people who feel connected and those who do not.
Me and my friends, we see someone who's sitting by themselves or not really talking to anyone in a big group, we can talk to them and encourage them to join in, like maybe with a different conversation or with the conversation that they're having.
Something that IGYB has made better for me is that now I feel like a lot more confident to help others around me.
I feel that when one person is kind, everybody follows along with them.
I'm looking forward to bringing I've Got Your Back to my school because I want to help people feel more included and connected.
Somebody should join I've Got Your Back because it makes everybody feel kind to everybody, and it just makes the world a better place.
I think someone should join I've Got Your Back because it's a lot of fun and we do a lot of cool things to help prevent bullying and help spread kindness and respect.
I got your back!
I am so fortunate to have a student board. There's 8 of us now. These are some pretty amazing people. The student board ranges from 6th grade to college and will meet monthly to work on different projects from planning inclusion and connection activities, community service projects, and monthly challenges and videos. I have never wanted to be the only face and voice of I've Got Your Back, and this is why we have a student ambassador program. So Mom, would you like to tell the audience about how IGYB could be shared at their school?
I sure would. We enlist student ambassadors to work within their own school community to share our mission, which is to include, be kind, and respect one another. These photos are examples of work student ambassadors are doing from a few different schools. In the first photo, it's an example of what schools did during February, which is themed for love and compassion. The next photo represented October's theme, which is kindness and community. And the last photo was a day that we spent sharing connection activities and strategies at the Stand By Me event hosted by Southern New Hampshire University for Lurgio Middle School in Bedford. Schools can choose to participate in monthly themed challenges that are posted on our website and social media each month. Although our messaging is consistent with these themes, IGYB can integrate differently in school settings, whether it be led by student council, advisory, leaders on sports teams such as coaches or team captains, kindness clubs, or at monthly all-school meetings and rallies. You may be thinking at this point, how can I implement something like this at my school? Implementing IGYB and creating future leaders is really pretty easy. Kickoff is typically during October's National Bullying Prevention Month. However, the program can be launched at any time during the year. The success of I've Got Your Back is that, quite simply, kids relate to kids. Any students can be involved at any level by supporting the mission of our foundation or becoming a student ambassador and taking our oath available at the website, along with monthly themes and challenges to follow. With the commitment of a faculty sponsor to check in with the students, IGYB can be implemented at schools at no cost. Simply having student support and just wear a wristband is letting others know you have their back. Additionally, wristbands, buttons, bookmarks, t-shirts, and stickers can all be shared. These items are always available to our schools, and if we do not have a grant for your district already, a small donation can cover these costs. And if that's a problem, we can always reach out and find donations for you. Creating a constant presence that is proactive and student-driven is the goal that we strive for in all school settings and helps to build leadership and life skills for our children. Let me turn it over to Jen, who will share more information about the monthly challenges and how IGYB dovetails with all SEL programs so well.
Great, thanks, Anne. So monthly themes and challenges are available on our website, which you see here, igbkindness.org. We have created videos that can be shared in order or not, depending on the focus of your school. For example, as Anne said, October is Bullying Prevention and Kindness Month. A few schools last year started working on holiday cards for troops to send overseas. We've actually partnered with Dr. Jen Gillis from Manchester School District to try and collect 10,000 holiday cards from New Hampshire schools to be shipped to troops overseas. Some of the cards were extremely thoughtful and meaningful. In November, the challenge was to give thanks all around us. One of the participating schools, they've asked the student ambassadors to come up with ideas on how they can be thankful. This second grader that you see here at the time suggested giving thanks to the cleaning staff at their school and to present to them a poster during their Thanksgiving feast in front of the entire school. It was great to see her vision become a reality. And when things like this, as you know, kids really can get creative when they're left in charge. Other schools followed, such as Bedford High School. Students signed a poster thanking all of their custodians. They were so delighted they hung the poster in their break room for the entire year. So now think about how impactful that will be for during these times of COVID. IGYB can be shared at your school as well. It will look different from school to school. IGYB can be shared and be the constant presence throughout the school year. And that's the critical piece, is really being the constant presence. It can be done through school gatherings, advisories, student council, starting a kindness club, through before and after school activities, or on the bus. We've had student ambassadors take on a leadership role on sports teams, for example, like swim teams and hockey teams, simply by wearing their IGYB wristband and showing that they've had each other's back. IGYB is a student-run organization, and really the goal is to let their imagination and creativity determine which activities are applicable for their schools. With the help and guidance of a faculty sponsor, these student ambassadors and future leaders can really make a difference in their school community. IGYB is a connection platform for students because, as Anne said, kids relate to kids, and all students, including all of us adults, want to be included as well. IGYB really dovetails nicely with all SEL programs. What IGYB does is encourages student ambassadors to include, accept, and connect with others in their school community. Ambassadors can be there when someone is in need of a voice. Ambassadors can be there to connect with fellow students if they need a buddy to talk to. Ambassadors can stand up for someone when they're being bullied. Ambassadors can even stand up for the bullies themselves. And when you think about that, by including, accepting, and connecting, they are building the very same skills from an SEL program. When they stand up for someone being bullied, for example, they are socially aware of what's going on. They are most definitely self-aware to be able to speak up, and they are making responsible decisions, sometimes requiring them to speak with adults about the situation. And to reiterate, SEL programs are written by educators for educators, but IGYB was created by a student for students. For the past couple of years, and even more so now in our COVID world, educators and school districts are talking about SEL. That's why you're all here at this conference with NHSAA. According to Governor Sununu's 2018 New Hampshire School Safety Preparedness Task Force publication, there is a need for New Hampshire schools to expand their SEL programming. This report also states that overall students do not feel safe in their schools, partly because of bullying. As you know, an increased sense of security correlates with increased student score performance. As you see here in this hierarchy, it's important to have in place the basic needs students require in order for them to be successful, functioning, and competent human beings. While IGYB is not an SEL program, as we've been saying, it dovetails nicely with all SEL curriculums. Because IGYB is a student-driven movement that encourages students to be connected to one another and to be a voice for those who need one, this connection is what is really needed for students of all ages to feel emotionally and socially secure, which leads to increased student success. All right, so that was an overview of IGYB, our mission, how it looks in schools, and how it integrates with SEL. So now let's hear from some of our adult ambassadors.
And one thing that I would love to share with you on our adult board board of trustees for I've Got Your Back, we have a wonderful elementary teacher from Londonderry who is an SEL specialist. We also have another middle school teacher who, and she has her doctorate in executive functioning. And everything that we do share on our website, any of our publications, everything is research based. And we have a lot of experience and wonderful people who really have helped us along the way. In addition to our special video guests, here are some of our ambassadors and advocates that have been inspirational since we started. You'll probably recognize Governor Sununu and Senator Hassan, and others here such as Scarlett Lewis and Shannon Desilets from the Choose Love program, and our Manchester Mayor Joyce Craig, and Manchester's Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Jen Gillis. These people have all been very instrumental in helping to shape our mission along the way. Something we also pay very close attention to when we're having our monthly meetings and with our adult board of trustees. In 2017 and again in 2019, that was just released, was our youth risk behavior surveys. Some of these results are very alarming, and they help indicate to us, where we need to really work harder. Also, one of the things that we can really do with I've Got Your Back is for all of our older students, is to get into a lot of mentoring with the younger students. And also bus drivers love I've Got Your Back. We do trainings with the bus drivers for the state of New Hampshire, and they have their hands on the wheel and they are not able to get up out of their seats. So sometimes programs like I've Got Your Back can proactively help in situations like that. We have had excellent feedback from them. And we're really proud of Hannah, who received a congressional award from Senator Maggie Hassan for helping all fellow Granite Staters. And now Hannah will introduce our special guests on video.
Yes, thanks, Mom. Meet Terry, grandmother and guardian of Skylar, who took her life at age 11 after being told on the bus by a student that if they looked like her, they would kill themselves. Not being accepted is tragic and real, and unfortunately can result in such tragic consequences. Terry is determined to keep Skylar's memory alive by helping efforts like I've Got Your Back to stop and prevent bullying.
Hi, my name's Terry. My granddaughter Skylar, she was 11 years old when she committed suicide. She was bullied quite a bit, especially the last 6 months of her life. We had changed schools. She had a lot of loss in her life, especially the last 6 months. She lost her uncle. She lost her grandfather within the amount of 6 months. They both passed away. And just at school was getting worse. Bullying. I went to the principal. They just said they were going to talk to the parents. I don't think that ever happened. And she would come home. She would start cutting herself. There was just a bunch of different things. I didn't know what to do. She ended up going up to Hampstead. She liked it up there. She felt secure, but with insurance and stuff, they had to kick her out. She went back up there, same thing, kicked her out, tried different medicines. Come to find out the medicines that she was on were banned in Europe. They shouldn't be taking them for kids under the age of 21. And after they increased her medicine to try to help her, and all this started from the bullying, she, 4 days later, she committed suicide. I miss her every day. I will do anything to stop bullying. I will help anyone that needs it, whether they be a child, an adult. I talk about it whenever I can. I I just have to stop it. That's my biggest thing, is to keep Skylar alive by stopping this. She was a beautiful, sweet angel that just didn't know why people would bully. She didn't have it in her heart. She was a nice person, and she didn't know how to hurt people. And this is what she got from it.
I'm inspired by people like Terry to keep IGYB's mission alive and to always be a voice for those who are no longer here. Next, meet Debbie. Debbie grew up as a bully and explains to us why bullies are victims too and why they also need help. All of us at I've Got Your Back try to let students know who have been bullied that it is important to help the person being unkind too. Many times the bullies just want to be accepted and included and are hurting on the inside. By teaching students to understand this, it can help them resolve conflicts on their own.
I am Debbie, and I am a former bully. I started bullying probably when I was about 8 years old. At home, I was getting picked on a lot. I grew up in the 70s, so I had a lot of sensory issues, and people didn't know about sensory issues, and I would scream and have tantrums and throw myself on the floor, and I had to be pinned down to have my hair washed, and my dad would say I belonged in a mental institution, and my older siblings, who were like 8 and 10 years older, would continuously poke at me just to get me to throw one of those tantrums. And I took that and I brought it to school. I had friends, I had a lot of friends. None of my friends knew what I was going through. I attached myself to another family, and I spent a lot of time with them where I wasn't bullied, but things there weren't good either. Wasn't normal, and I didn't know it. So things just kind of spiraled out of control, and I was always, egged on by some of my friends to pick on kids, and that made me popular. But inside I was a very, very sensitive child. I hated every time I bullied someone. It broke my heart inside, but I couldn't show that. I have this hard shell that I built around to protect myself. And all I really wanted was for someone to love me, to make me feel that I was accepted. And then I think I would have been okay, or to say, hey, why are you acting like this? But anytime I bullied in school, all I did was get in trouble, right? In 5th grade, I had to write out the dictionary for picking on the teacher. And I wrote every single word up to the letter M. And then when I was done, the teacher came up and she picked up my stack of papers and she tore them up right in front of my face. And that broke my heart. And that was the year that I pushed a boy against a window and cracked his head open. And again, I just kept getting in trouble, but nobody reached out and said, what's going on? Nobody cared. That's how I felt. Nobody cared.
After meeting Debbie, it certainly gave me a different perspective on why bullies act the way they do. It takes just a single teacher to make a difference in a child's life. The one compliment, the one encouraging comment, or the one inquiry to ask how you are and what is going on. Ultimately, these are the exchanges between a teacher and a student that can change their life forever in a positive way. Listen to how one teacher changed Debbie's life. I too had a teacher change my life when I was in 8th grade.
Until I was about 15, 16, when I got in high school, I had one teacher, and she turned my life around. She showed me the attention. She encouraged my writing. She said I was a very talented writer, and that, and she gave me constructive criticism, and she was always there for me. And then when I, as I got older, I always had the bullying in the back of my head and how bad I felt, but it wasn't until I had my own kids that I realized that one of my boys was kind of similar to me, and he had these meltdowns, and everything kind of came flooding back for me, and I didn't know how to handle it, and I was spinning out of control, yelling and screaming. So I ended up in counseling and realized why I was, doing this. And then, so I got some help, And then time passed and it seemed fine, and then something else happened and it was triggered again, and I said, you know, I've got to do something. And I started reaching out to people that I picked on, and I started making my amends. Some of them forgave me, one of them didn't, which is hurtful, but I understand. And then I saw you on Channel 9. I saw the segment on I Got Your Back, and I said, that's where I need to be, because I need people to understand that bullies really need the help. They need to feel accepted. They need to be loved just like anybody else, because if they get that help, they wouldn't, and they felt accepted, they wouldn't be picking on anybody.
And I never got that side of it. I would have never thought what you're feeling. I just think of them as bullies. They're out to hurt people. I never realized that what could be happening at home, or you guys really feel bad for doing what you're doing and stuff like that. I would have never thought of that.
I mean, I think everybody, it's human nature to want to be accepted and to want to be loved, and when you're not, you have to find some way to protect yourself, and bullying tends to be that self-protection.
And that's an eye-opener for me, because I would never thought of that.
It took that one teacher to show you that you did matter.
Right.
And that doing positive things could change everything, and it did for you.
Yep.
Absolutely. Awesome.
As you just heard, we as students need encouragement, whether that comes from our teachers or our peers. Meet our final video guest, Morgana. She was stepmom to Jack, or she likes to be called bonus mom. She lost Jack to suicide at just 12 years old. Jack was autistic, and as we learn, they take things very literally.
I'm Morgana. Jack Eisenberg was my stepson. He died by suicide on May 26, 2018. He was bullied relentlessly for years. And on May 25th, he was in an altercation at school. And he was told to go home and kill himself. So on May 26th, Jack was found by a neighbor at his mother's house. He had taken his life. And when two Goffstown police officers were at my house telling my husband that his only son had taken his life, it was very devastating. Jack was the sweetest boy in the world. He was my gentle giant. His hugs were always the tightest hugs, but the softest. And he just wanted everyone to be happy. And he wanted to make everyone happy. And he did, but he didn't know his worth. He also had a laugh that just, you can't forget that laugh. He just wanted to make everyone laugh. We had a very special bond. And even though he wasn't biologically my son, he was the next best thing. It's like I had. I love him and I miss him dearly every day. And my mission is to bring awareness that you can bring encouragement and inspiration and reminders that you matter, because you do. Just takes one kind word, one kind action to possibly make someone's day or even save their lives. And Jack needed that, and he didn't have that. And I hate that.
Yeah, it's very tragic that nobody stepped in, and nobody, not even other kids like Hannah's program, you know, where they see kids getting bullied and they can help them, you know, they can make them feel worthy and they can give them acceptance, and, you know, just that act of kindness might have turned things around.
Absolutely.
These special ambassadors and many others want to continue to make a difference, like all of us, by preventing tragedy in families and our community. Before we end, I would like to give a special thanks to Terry, Debbie, and Morgana for sharing this story with us today. Remember as educators how important you are and how much hope you give to all of us as students. We need you. Please sign up to be on a monthly email list by scanning the QR code on this slide or send us an email. Our email is at the bottom right corner of the slide, info@igyybkindness.org. We will send you a reminder that we are here and wanting to help make a difference. It takes just a couple minutes a month to share us with your district and schools. Remember, there's no age limit to being kind. Thank you for participating.